Hello and welcome to another episode of Gear Toward Gear. My name's Sean. I'm so glad you're here. I am really excited about this one, you guys. I've been waiting for this for a while, and as you can see from the title, this is a customized hatchet. It's one that I already own that I sent in to have some custom work done. And kind of the story behind how this came to be is actually quite interesting. And so if you'll indulge me for, say, 3 or 4 minutes, I'd really like to tell the story. If you want to fast forward until you start seeing me cut open the box, go ahead and do that. But I do want to share kind of how this came to be. So I was on Facebook one day in a EDC group or something. And I saw a post. It was a link to a website and it said something like, "Do you carry knuckles?" ? Or like brass knuckles for EDC. And I assumed it was a company trying to sell these, brass knuckles. And I made a comment basically saying, I think that's a terrible idea. And I kind of gave my reasons behind why I think knuckles for self-defense are not a good idea. And I don't want to get into that, but I got a response from the company who made the post. And the response was, "Oh, you must have read the article." And I was very confused because I thought they were selling this product. And come to find out, the guy who responded to me, Josh, is half of this company called Savage Combatives out of California. And the article, which I didn't read, I just saw the headline and assumed they were selling it. The article is all about basically why it's not a good idea from a legal perspective and from a self-defense perspective. And so we got to talking, realized we had a lot in common. We're both really big dudes, similar kind of family heritage. We both worked as bouncers as a profession for some time in our lives, him a lot more than I. But come to find out, he's half of a company called Savage Combatives. And Savage Combatives is a company out of California. He's one of the instructors and course developers, and they teach firearms training, bladed weapon training, impact weapon training, hand-to-hand combat, all kinds of stuff. And Josh, who goes by Fenris, he's kind of an expert in things like primitive fire, hunting, fishing, game processing, wilderness first aid, all kinds of stuff. A really well-rounded dude, a really solid dude. We've talked quite a bit. Really super nice guy. Well, outside of Savage Combatives and him being an instructor and a course developer, kind of his passion project, at least that's what I'm calling it, is a separate company called Fenris Forge. And he started this recently, and he's just a self-taught blacksmith, and he's starting to make some knives. And so as we were talking, I thought, I don't have my logo, like my Gear Toward Gear logo on anything. And he was like, "Dude, if you want to send me a hatchet or something like that, I'll totally put your logo on it." So, and I did pay him for the service, so this wasn't a quid pro quo type thing, but I thought it'd be really badass. So I'm going to show you an axe real quick, or at least part of it, because I can't fit the whole thing in the frame, because I have no idea what this is going to look like. He has not sent me any pictures. I kind of just told him to do whatever, so I have no idea what this is going to look like. This is what it did look like, roughly. It was a Husqvarna 13-inch hatchet. What you're looking at now is like a 26-inch camp axe, but essentially it looked the same finish, the same handle. The only thing I had done to it is I had sanded, burned, and linseed oiled the handle. Otherwise, it was completely factory Husqvarna hatchet. So that's what I sent him to have customized. He said he'd put my logo on it, and that's all I know, is that my logo is probably going to be on here somewhere. Anything else that he did beyond that, I have no idea, and I'm freaking excited to open this package. So let me find a knife. Here's the bug out here. So let me open this box and see what he actually did to this hatchet. I'm super stoked. And this hatchet is, like I said, it's a 13-inch Husqvarna hatchet, and it's not the ideal hatchet for like camping, certainly. It's pretty heavy, actually, but I use it for splitting kindling, and it works really well for that with the extra weight. So I use it quite a bit during the winter time to cut kindling. So if I can get into this box, and I'm super anxious to see this, so I'm kind of going a little crazy with my knife here. All right, I'm really excited about this. So let's see what Fenris from Fenris Forge has done to my hatchet. All right, so let me get the box out of the way. So the first thing I noticed is this wrap here, which looks freaking sweet. I do like the look of that a lot. I've seen that done before, but I've never attempted to do it myself. I don't know if he smoothed out the handle or did any sanding here, but it feels super comfortable. So let's take off the sheath here and see what we got. So, oh crap, that's freaking sweet. Okay, so as you can see on the back side here, we have the Geared Toward Gear logo etched into the hatchet. And I mean, it is etched in there. Like, I don't know what process, and Fenris, if you watch this, if you can leave a comment, I don't know how the hell you do that. It's not like a laser etch where it's just kind of on the surface. Like, it's in there. Like, it is in the metal. Like, I can, with my fingernail, like, feel the edges. So that's there to stay. That's not going anywhere. The other thing he did, and he did oil this very well before he sent it, which is really nice to protect it. But it looks like he probably sanded or kind of ground the surface to give him a kind of a better surface to work with. But it looks like, and I think he may have mentioned this, it looks like he blued it, like gun bluing. So the finish, let me bring in the other axe here so we can compare the two and look at the finish on the axe compared to the hatchet. So it definitely looks like he did kind of like a blued treatment to it there. Excuse me. If you look at the color, it's hard for me to see what's on frame. If you look at the color here, this hatchet was this color exactly when I sent it to him. So he's kind of richened and darkened this, either with a light stain or maybe just with some additional oiling. But it looks damn sexy and kind of that dark, almost walnut color compared to this kind of pale yellow color. So the coloration looks freaking sweet. This little paracord lanyard I had on there when I sent it to him, but this wrap up top, I'm digging quite a bit. All the original manufacturer's markings from Husqvarna, where it just says hand-forged, made in Sweden, that remains intact. But seeing that logo there is pretty freaking sweet and kind of surreal. Because again, I've never put my logo on anything or made a decal or anything like that. So to have something like this that I'm going to use, I mean, this is a tool. And what I just also realized is that he put an edge on this. He certainly refined the edge that was on this when I sent it to him. It was definitely not that sharp. And it's almost polished on the end there if I can get the light to catch it just right. So he definitely, I'm not going to run my finger across it because I think I would cut myself. So it's been, the handle's been treated in some fashion. The top end here has been wrapped. It's been treated, sanded, smoothed, blued, sharpened, almost polished, finish on the edge there. And then, I mean, that just looks sweet. I mean, holy shit, sorry for my language. And all the forge markings, right, from the original forging of this are still intact, which I like. So that's just beautiful, Fenris. I really appreciate the work that you put into this. It is a tool at the end of the day, and I'm going to use the shit out of it. I said shit twice, now 3 times in this video. I do apologize. Try to keep it family friendly, but I will use this every year to split kindling. Again, this particular model, I probably wouldn't recommend as like a camp hatchet because it's got a lot of material up at the top here, so it's just quite heavy. But for splitting kindling out back in the winter, it works phenomenally well, and now it's just that much more special having my logo on it and kind of having that hand touch from Fenris Forge. So Fenris, thank you so much. It looks beautiful, worth every penny. I'm going to leave a link down below for the Savage Combatives website. If you happen to live in California and you're looking for any sort of like tactical training, firearms training, wilderness training, things like that, you can check them out. But then I'll also leave a link for the Fenris Forge Instagram and Facebook pages, so that if you want to have any of this type of work done, to any of your bladed weapons, whether it be a tool like this or a knife. You can reach out to Fenris and commission a job, or see about having something like this done if this interests you. But I'm really liking this Fenris. I can't thank you enough. It looks fantastic. I can't believe that the intricate detail of that logo was able to come through in that etch. But it just looks freaking sweet. I don't know what else to say. It looks awesome. I can't thank you enough. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, check those links below if you want to get in touch with Fenris. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.